No shade. I be hearing a lot of Wizards in Waverly Place drama. I be hearing JT Austin wasn't invited. He felt like he was like the second or third thought of an option. And then David Dobrik, I don't know what the fuck he got going on. And then oh shit, my camera. My bad. It is hold on. Let me fix that. Oh, what happened to my phone? Okay, that's my bad. But yeah, I be hearing a lot of Wizards drama, so I don't know what the hell's going on. I be seeing some TikTok videos. Bruh, 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 bruh. What the hell going on? Damn. I am not gonna edit this out. Fuck. But yeah, we just gonna see what happened with Selena, David, JT Austin, Harper. Let's just see what's going on with the whole cast.
You guys, we need to talk about the drama surrounding the Wizards of Waverly Place reboot and the things that are being said about David Henry. JT Austin has come out to speak
I
out.
said David Dobrik. Oh my god. Oh, I called him the wrong name, but whatever.
A lot of the OG cast members are not happy with the way that everything has gone down with the show and are speaking out. We are going to get into everything. This week was the series finale.
My thing about it is I don't like it when old shows that I used to grow up in, they gonna renew the whole show and they gonna like regeneralize it and don't bring up the old cast. Like they did the same thing with That's a Raven. Of course they bring back Raven, Chelsea, but no, they brought back the mom and dad. Orlando Brown, I can understand why they didn't bring him back, but I mean, what about the brother? They didn't bring back the brother, like Corey in the house, like where he at? Like, come on now. Like, I don't like it when people trying to do that. Like, if you're gonna bring back the show and make it all brand new, bring back the originals. So I kind of feel like what JT Austin, I can understand what he's coming from.
Of Wizards Beyond Waverly Place, which was the Wizards of Waverly Place spin-off that first aired in 2024. From the original cast, Selena Gomez and David Henry served as executive producers on this new project, and the story was following Justin as an adult trying to live a normal mortal life. It followed his wife and his kids and their family's life, and then Selena...
Wait a minute, he don't have his powers no more, right? Because at the end of the episode of the original show, that he became a professor. So Professor Crumb allowed him to keep his powers. So I wonder why he didn't have like
her appearance as Alex.
Because I ain't gonna lie, I saw a clip on TikTok on this show, and then I think Justin said something about he not a professor at a wizard school no more. So I don't know. It was something like that.
And now there seems to be behind the scenes drama surrounding this, as former cast members are speaking out about wanting to have been a bigger part of the show, and
the mama and the daddy, yeah, they brought them two back.
The best way, and people coming at David, and it sounds like he's accusing JT
They brought back Harper, Mason.
I mean, guys, it has gotten crazy. So in talking about the finale, the 4-part finale event was this week.
You know that thing that you love? You'll find others geeking out about it on Facebook. Whether you're looking for community or...
I don't give a fuck. Facebook ain't paying me shit.
And if you want to know what happens, then listen up. But if not, then warning, I'm about to spoil what happens at the end of the Wizards of Waverly Place reboot. Now, if you don't have any clue what's happened in this new series.
Yeah, Alex, she at the end of the season, she got trapped or she got lost in some type of portal or something like that, and then Alex find out that this girl right here, that's her daughter.
Basically, Alex brings this girl Billy to Justin because Alex believes that Justin is the one person who can properly train her. Now, at the end of season 2, the huge reveal is that Alex is actually Billy's mom, and Alex had brought Billy to Justin to protect her. Now, after finally telling Billy the truth that Alex is her mom, Alex sacrifices herself by going into a dark, magical portal, and season 3 returned for just 4 episodes. So that's why they were calling it the 4-part finale event, because it was really only 4 episodes. But it was all about Alex getting back and finding Billy's dad, who has been trapped in wizard prison. Oh, and we also find out that Mason is dead. Throwback to him, Greg Sulkin did come back for a scene. We also see
I seen this. I was like, who is this black guy? Like what?
Appear for a scene. And
wait, what she said?
Mason is dead. Throwback to him, Greg Sulkin did come back for a scene. We also see Jennifer Stone, who plays Harper, appear for a scene. And the final scene in the last episode of season 3 takes place in the iconic Waverly substation, and from the OG set of actors, we see David, Selena, and their mom, played by Maria Gonzalez-Barrera, return. But there were some OGs missing from the finale, and they were speaking out. Jake T. Austin, who played Max, took to social media to say to all the Wizard fans,
this is what I saw.
Say for the record how disappointed I am to have not been included in the spinoff. I was asked back in 2020 if I was interested in reprising my role and said that I was 100% in. Unfortunately, the powers that be decided to take the show in a different direction, and my character was not part of the equation. Even though I wasn't involved, I still have nothing but love for my former castmates and wish them continued success. Thank you to all the fans who watched over the years. The show wouldn't be what it is.
Wizard. Oh, that was a good show.
Now, David DeLuise spoke out in the comment section of a social media post talking about the Wizards finale, writing, "It would not be over if the Wizards were really there. Missed opportunity." So it was clear that he was not happy that the OGs were not a big part of this series, feeling like the show wouldn't be coming to an end if they were more of a part of the series. And I do have to agree. I do feel like, in a lot of these shows getting rebooted on TV.
Yeah, I feel like that is shady. Like, how the hell you came from a popular show way back in the Disney Channel days, and then here we are now, and you trying to renew the show without bringing up your OG cast members. Like, people would want that. So I don't know. Maybe he did hit up JT Austin, and maybe he didn't have the time for it, or I don't know.
Channel, it really hasn't been for the original audience. It has been for a new audience to fall in love with the story. Like with That's So Raven. They did Raven's Home, but truly that show was not for the people that originally watched That's So Raven. They just kind of looked at that and they were like, well, That's So Raven did amazing. Let's do a version of that for the new generation.
Okay.
And of course, in the first couple episodes, those that watched the show in the first place want to tune in. They want to get a little bit of that nostalgia again. It's exciting. It's sweet. But then you kind of realize it's a kid's show at the end of the day. It's not really for us. It doesn't hit the same. And the same is happening with Wizards.
Okay, I get it, but it's you can't say
Beyond Waverly Place, where it wasn't really for the original watchers of Wizards of Waverly Place. And I do think that is what David is saying, that if they had the OG Wizards in the show, the people that grew up with it would probably be tuning in a lot more, letting the series go on a little bit longer, just because we would have been like, it's so nostalgic to see.
But I feel like my generation didn't really fully watch this show because, again, they didn't bring back JT Austin. They didn't bring back I feel like 8 out of 10 they bring back the originals. They bring back everybody except JT. So
favorite characters come back in a new way, whereas we're only really seeing David Henry. Selena's not really on the show. Anyway, they were not the only two that were speaking out. Dan Benson,
Selena more like a side character,
put the blame on David Henry, writing on X. It's just heartbreaking because there was so much potential for a Wizards reboot and it turned into the failed David Henry show. People say I'm just bitter I didn't get invited back, but I'm actually just sad for the fans. Wizards of Waverly Place changed my life forever. I'll always be grateful. Now, I will say that Dan had previously come out to say that he felt that him doing OF content.
I remember. And then they was like, people are gonna search you up, and that's not really Disney Channel family friendly. So it's like we had to cut you off.
Being a part in the reboot, and it seemed that during an interview, when asked which character should be brought back to the reboot, and Dan was on the list, some people felt like David Henry had kind of shaded Dan being on the list of options when he was asked about it.
Oh, got it.
And finally, choose a reoccurring character who should guest star on Wizards Beyond Waverly Place.
Love Roblox?
Damn.
Earn Roblox digital gift cards with Microsoft Rewards.
Silence.
I can't believe you guys put one of these people on here.
I know.
Oh,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Millennials understand that. Okay, so Juliet Van Houten, Mason Grayback, Zeke Beakerman, Steve Nichols.
Oh, Steve Nichols, I remember her. Yeah, I actually like her. Not only she was on Lemonade Mouth. Oh, Lemonade Mouth, that was one of my favorite movies, me growing up. I remember her. But I remember one of the episodes that she was in, well, I wouldn't call her an evil wizard, but I can understand where she coming from. She was telling Alex, Justin, and Max, she was telling Harper, she was telling everybody, like, how is it fair that only one wizard get to keep their powers? So she gonna start a rebellion, and then everybody can keep their powers forever. So therefore, there will be no more wizard competition to where only one family. Ooh, I ain't gonna lie, she did kind of have a point. Like I'm saying, if you are an OG, if you grew up on the original show way back then, you will understand what I'm talking about. But yeah, I understand. So can you? And then Alex was like, well, it's kind of interesting. Like, she was making sense if you think about it.
Stevie Nichols, Gigi.
Now, Dan responded to a clip of this and later said that he was blocked by David after he had reacted, so they have beef already. Aside from that, it was then going around that the original creator of Wizard Place had called out the reboot, but I will say that I don't actually think that this is a real post from him because he hasn't posted in almost a year on X, but this screenshot was going around, and I do think that
I will undo the entire Beyond canon in one simple chapter by simply ignoring it. It was all Max String fixed, moving on.
Was faked because a lot of people are just upset with the finale and they want to get other people more upset by saying like, oh, the original creator of the show is also upset, see? But they were saying that he said, I will undo the entire Beyond canon in one simple chapter by simply ignoring it. It was all Max's dream, fixed, moving on. Now, all of this online discourse, though, started this whole drama online of people blaming David for the way the reboot went, and there was an interview where Jennifer Stone says that David told her that there wasn't really room for her to be a bigger part in the show, and it certainly added to this narrative that he was the one that was really calling the shots here and blocking the OGs from having more of a role in the reboot.
To be honest, I had mourned the fact that I was not going to be a part of the reboot just because when I talked to David Henry, it's about a totally different family. Like, Selena pops in and out, and so he's like, it doesn't really make sense for you to come in. And I was like, come on, you can make it make sense. But
oh, exactly. David, he looked like the type of, I ain't gonna lie, because on the original show, he was giving snarky, know-it-all attitude, which I hate that in a guy. Like, that's a red flag for me. But it seems like that's his little bit of his real personality in real life. Because I'll also be hearing that not a lot of cast members don't like him and how he, like, doing this new show. So, But what you mean that Jennifer Stone doesn't make sense if she... I mean, first of all, she played Alex's best friend. Like, Harper is like a big support contributor to the show, so I don't understand why he would think that it wouldn't make sense. So
it didn't work out that way, and so I just come to terms with the fact, and I'd heard it was the last season, so I was like, okay, well then that's done. And I'm a big believer that things happen exactly as they're supposed to. So I was like, okay, cool. Like, we can remember Harper the way that she was, all that stuff.
There was also a clip of David Henry going around saying that the original Disney series was supposed to be a show that he was the star of, and that they shot a pilot where he was the star, Selena was his sister, but in the end, they wanted a girl to be the lead of the next show. And so he got the boot, and Selena was the star of the show.
Trust me, I know. I everything that she's saying right now, I know. I remember it.
people twisted this into him making this series his chance to be the star.
A very funny story about Wizards. So I had grown up doing a lot
Yeah,
of,
I've seen this.
I was like the kid in a lot of sitcoms, and Disney was tracking me, and at a certain age they said, hey, we want to build a show around you, and we want to call it The Amazing O'Malleys. It's a family magic show. I booked to the show, it was awesome, and then they were like, we're going to get you a sister, we're not sure who. We found this girl, Selena Gomez, we think she's going to be your sister. So shoot it, completely different show.
I ain't gonna lie, I think they, like, no shade to him, but I feel like they made the right decision by putting Selena Gomez into the map, and then she grew up out of Disney, and now look like they
was the lead of the show. They tested it and they go, we want female leads right now. We don't want a male lead, so we're gonna have to let you go. And so I was
and I'm talking, I keep pausing, but my thing about it is, him, like, even though he's count as a side character, but he was like on all the episodes, like, he wasn't really much of a side character if you ask me, like, according to my knowledge at least. Like, every single Wizards of Waverly Place episode, I seen him. It's not like we see him for a second and then we just move on to the, like, next scene, like, we barely see him. No, for me, it wasn't like that. So, I wouldn't even consider him as a side character. Him, what else? Max, even Harper, like, I wouldn't even consider her as a side character. The most I would consider as a little bit of a side character, but they did have, like, a little bit more of a screen TV time, was the mom and the daddy. Everybody else, like, what?
And then you're out. And then I was fired. I was like, all right, I'm going to go back to making a lot more money on CBS and go be the wisecracking kid in something again. And then they said, wait, we have a new script called Wizards of Waverly Place, which is a completely different show. And your character's now different. You're now number 2, and you have to do it.
What's the hassle?
I was under contract, for the other show, and it apparently transferred over to this new.
Now, I will say David did clap back about JT Austin saying that he was not a part of the reboot and that they didn't put him in even though he wanted to be in. David included a screenshot where somebody said, but why is Max not included? And he said, I would have loved to have Max back, but sadly he didn't accept our numerous offers to join the new show. We called him, texted, and went through agents, etc. I would have loved for this new generation of millions of kids to get to meet Max, but I respect his decision and wish him all the best. So on one hand, we have JT Austin saying that he expressed interest and that he wished he could have been in it.
But he's saying that he wasn't responding.
They asked him to be in it, and he just did not accept their offer. JT Austin later wanted to clarify, posting on his story, here's the full story from my perspective. I first met with Disney in 2020 to discuss returning as Max for what I was told was essentially going to be a continuation of the original series. I only learned a spin-off was happening when it was announced in the media in October 2024. I was the only Russo family member who wasn't invited to make a cameo appearance or visit the set by the end of season 1. I was also not invited to the premiere. I was kept in the dark about coming back until after the show wrapped season 1. In April 2025, I received a DM from David asking if I would be interested in returning to the show. By that point, I already felt dismissed for not being invited back during season 1, and I wasn't a fan of where they were taking the show in general. The whole thing fell off. I feel like more of the OG Wizard cast should have been involved from the beginning, not just randomly appear for an episode or two. So that was Jake's response. In regards to some of the
I feel like I had to go with Jake's side. And I had to go with Jennifer, so I had to also go on her side because just like she said something about, David told me that it would make sense if I just pop up to the show if I make a little bit of appearance. Like, what? That don't make sense.
Flash with the story though, as some people didn't love Mason being dead, they also didn't love Alex's husband being
I love me some
in
Mason.
Prison. But in regards to Mason being dead, David said in
Is he still a werewolf?
We always wanted to bring Mason back, but it's a double-edged sword. Any route you choose, star and executive producer David Henry tells TV Line. Let's say they broke up. Fans would be furious because they were the best relationship ever. How could you break them up and then have her go with a different
I remember all the boyfriends that Alex had. Dean, I remember him. Who was it? I think it was only Mason and Dean. I think that was it. I'm trying to figure out who was.
That doesn't make any sense. And then, why do we even bring him back? So it was a double-edged sword, and the cleanest version was to kill him. Look, he was an old werewolf, and werewolves pass on. Henry tells TV Line maybe he didn't get enough moonlight, I don't know, he passed on, but he will always have a special place in Alex's heart, and he actually got to contribute to this story in this way. Now, Selena has stayed safe from people blaming her because she wasn't as big of a part in the show as David. We know that she couldn't be on the show acting as much as David, and that she wasn't as hands-on as he was, even though she was an executive producer. But David clearly wanted to be doing more. He had more time. Selena's doing a ton of other projects. But because of that, he's been hit with a lot of backlash with people giving their real feelings about how they feel about the ending here. But I want to know what you guys think about all of this.
Damn, I want to know what you guys think of this whole wizard drama. Like, what do you think? But, yeah, I know you fucking lying.